मैंने एक वीडियो बनाया था इसके पहले ऑन द रियलिटी ऑफ मैनेजमेंट कंसल्टिंग एंड मैंने उसमें सब कुछ बताया था व्हाट डू कंसल्टेंट्स डू, हाउ मच दे अर्न एंड एवरीथिंग अराउंड इट। एंड मैंने एक कीवर्ड के साथ भी एंड किया था कि ऑल ऑफ दीज हाई पेइंग जॉब्स डज कम एट अ कॉस्ट, and that cost is your personal life. There is insane amount of work that happens in these high paying jobs and that is not suitable for everyone.
Several surveys show this. Indians feel that they're the most overworked and underpaid people in the world.
In fact, it is not only about the number of hours, it's also about a kind of culture that is perpetrated that might not be suitable for you as a person. And that's why, while I tell you about all the high paying jobs after IIMs, I thought it's my responsibility that I should also tell you the dark side of these high paying jobs after IIMs.
According to the World Health Organization, working long hours is killing 750,000 people every year through stroke and heart diseases. 750,000 every year. In other words, more people are dying from overwork than from malaria.
And one disclaimer before we start, ये वीडियो किसी एक कंपनी या फिर किसी एक पर्टिकुलर रोल के अगेंस्ट नहीं है. Rather, this is for all the high-paying jobs after IIMs that demand an insane level of professional commitment. And to make you conscious of this fact before you get attracted by only the high packages being offered. The first thing I want to talk about is the glorification of long working hours.
It's more like 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. That cuts you down to about 2.5 years before you become mastered.
अगर मैं हाई पेइंग जॉब्स का बात करूँ, फॉर एग्जाम्पल द कंसल्टिंग रोल्स इन टॉप टियर फर्म्स या फिर इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकिंग एंड फाइनेंस, दीज डिमांड इंसेन लेवल ऑफ प्रोफेशनल कमिटमेंट. 14 hours of workday is not very unusual, in fact pretty common and expected in these kind of firms. And the problem doesn't end with long working hours. Rather, a culture is perpetrated where these long working hours are glorified. Insta stories are put up that leaving office at 3 a.m., leaving office at 4 a.m. as if it's an accomplishment. And you might think, how can this happen that giving so less time for your personal life can be an accomplishment? But that is the thought process that we live with. And the thought is so imbibed in the circle that anyone who prioritizes personal life by choosing a less paying job with better work life or choosing to get a delayed promotion and not getting that top performer award because of better work life is looked down upon. Imagine giving time for your personal commitments and prioritizing your personal life is seen as a failure. And secondly, more than these long working hours, what creates high work pressure is the culture that is there in your team.
From starting हम नहीं काम करना चाहते थे, हम बोले कि हमसे काम नहीं होगा, but still we are not getting any support.
Especially your immediate team, your colleagues, your manager, supervisor, the people you're interacting with on an everyday basis, that is what creates more work pressure. And I have been on projects where I've worked for 14 hours, but it felt absolutely amazing because of the team that I was with. I wanted to wake up every day, go to the office, go to the client location, talk to them. But there have been projects where I have probably worked less than 10 hours, but I absolutely hated it. I did not want to wake up the next day and start my laptop again. There have been instances like this. So it more depends on the culture that is there within your team and the entire organization. And that is where most of these companies fail.
Why haven't we flushed toxicity out of our offices? Just like toxic chemicals, a toxic workplace too can kill us.
And इसका reason बहुत simple है. People who enter these top paying firms usually are the most academically brilliant ones who have achieved a lot in their academic careers as well and have been through that hyper competitive process. So when they enter the firm, they want to continue the same thing, want to be a top performer, and even their managers and supervisors have been top performers during their days as well, and they've set a benchmark below which you do not want to perform. And that is where a lot of firms lose it out. Remember, in the same firm there will be good teams and bad teams as well. It's not necessary that every team in a particular firm will be bad. There certainly would be good people that you would absolutely love to work with, but there would also be bad teams in the same firm as well. And it more depends on the supervisor and manager that you are working with, what kind of culture they want to trickle down in the system. So some people certainly need to be taught about empathy and be told that their benchmark of how a good work should look like should not define other people's credibility. Imagine the toxic culture there has to be that an IIT IIM graduate can be made to feel worthless about his work. And मैं जानता हूँ बहुत छोटे reasons हो सकते हैं. Even something like boxes align नहीं है एक particular slide में, या फिर दो words के बीच में double space आ गया है. For these small mistakes as well, the kind of environment that you are in, that can define how it is taken. You can even be made to feel as if your entire degree was a waste, that your life is not worth it if you cannot take care of such small things. At the same time, people also should start appreciating, or at least not look down upon, those people who prioritize their personal life over the professional commitments. Consulting, investment banking में role किसी का end goal नहीं हो सकता just to enter these firms. End goal should be to lead a good life, and you as a student should decide what kind of a person you are and whether this kind of a role is suited for you or not. And if it is not, it is absolutely fine to choose an alternative career. And third most important thing, ये kind of culture IIMs and IITs में ही exist करती है. I don't know how it comes, maybe through seniors or through your batchmates itself, but at that point of time, आप किसी भी IIMs का placement season देखोगे, it is super competitive that people forget everything else that happens. And अगर मैं आज बात करूँ तो मुझे लगता है कि उस टाइम इतना short sighted vision था that you have to enter with this particular package in this particular company in this particular role, that people start forgetting everything else. They start considering someone as an idol just because everyone else is considering so, without even thinking that that particular thing, that particular career path might not be suitable for them, and they might become much more successful in something else. And out of all the good things in IIM, शायद यही एक चीज़ थी जो मुझे इतनी अच्छी नहीं लगी थी. The ultra competitive behavior that was there, especially some people took competition in a very unhealthy way without realizing that there is more to life than the job that you will end up doing. एंड मुझे याद है लास्ट डे ऑफ द कैंपस मैंने एक नोट छोड़ा था अपने जूनियर के लिए, whoever was going to come to my particular room the next year. Exactly word to word याद नहीं है वो नोट, but I remember the gist of it and I want to share that with all the IIM aspirants, या फिर आप कोई भी B school join करने वाले हो. It is very important for you that definitely compete, hustle and be the best version of yourself. Try to be the best version of yourself, but do not forget there is more to life than just your professional success. No matter what happens in that particular place, do not doubt yourself, do not doubt your credibility, do not doubt your worth, because if you are competing amongst the best, even if you are at the end of it, even if you are the last person, then also you are doing great in life. And the fact that you made it is what proves your worth. And also finally remember that your friends will matter a lot more than your marks and the first job that you end up with. So that is one message I want to give every B school aspirant to have in mind once they make it to their dream B school. And do not go to a particular MBA school with a fixed mindset that I want to aspire for this particular role, I want to aspire for this particular company. You can choose what's best suited for your character. Remember, if you get driven away during your campus days that everyone is aspiring for this particular role, so I should also be there. It's a very short-sighted vision that you will realize after 2-3 years itself. So choose the role that best suits your personality.